sticker because it dribbled all down the front, and that also comes from Sausage and Gren. Be leaving it to dry because I'm handing it over tomorrow morning. I'll have to explain about the crystal, so I'll show you a photo of it when it's glued onto the canvas. Okay. Hi guys, I said that I would show you some of my artwork, so I'll pick out some of the ones that are my favourites. So this was a series called Scraps that I did as a free series of workshops with an American artist called B.B. Henry. Once a year she does a free series of workshops called the BB Bash, and that was this from last year, the first time I took part in it. So it's essentially all sorts of bits and pieces that I've collected myself or I've swapped with other people. So there's fabric and lace and dried flowers on there. One of the ones I really like is this one, where I've used a ribbon from a box of truffles, and there's a bit of paper bag there, and a piece of doily and a flower sticker. So that's that one. And this one I like as well, which is a piece of fabric that I think I got in the pound shop. It was like a bundle that they were selling, and that's obviously a Jammy Dodger sticker, a piece of old newspaper, and some little flower pieces. And I also use wallpaper. Here's another one that's quite colourful, that I've got a lot of old stamps as well that I was sent. They're all old Christmas stamps, but I picked some of the colourful ones, and obviously you can see that's old doily and paint marks, like those old things that they used to do psychological assessments with, where you had to like work out what they were. So I've done that, and then I've covered it up with, this is a book page, but I've got old newspapers as well. Sorry, the cat's trying to chew my artwork. So that was another favourite of mine. I've got another one that's a biscuit, which is a tea cake, and a piece of this black and white paper here is the wrapper off a toilet roll. So I subscribe to an eco-friendly toilet roll supplier called Who Gives a Crap, and they package their rolls in all these spotty papers and stripy papers. So obviously I unwrap them when I've got clean hands, and then I save them and use them for scraps like this. So I also use wallpaper. So I get free samples of wallpaper, and Dunelm stores are good for this, and I think B&Q, in the day it used to be home based, but it's now B&Q. So I pick carefully the wallpaper suppliers that I go for. Some of them like to charge postage and others don't. So this is a piece of bird paper. Obviously that's a wild bird feather that my cat hasn't managed to chew. And then there are various other scraps on top. That's a sheet of poppy stickers, a piece of book. I've got a little flower punch, and I had some sort of paper that was all different colours all the way through it, so that's what that is there. And I've also done fabric weaving, which is this. I much prefer the paper weaving because it's more substantial and it doesn't go all floppy and wonky like that. And another thing was like doing different stitches and adding different textures onto a piece of fabric. And the last one of these, I found this massive oak leaf and a guinea fowl feather, another biscuit sticker. So that's those. And then some other ones I did were called the paper bag challenge. So some of the best ones of those are, so this one is based on the Squeeze song, Labelled with Love. So if anybody knows the words, they'll guess what this is. So this is done with pens and paint and Sharpies. So that's that one. I don't know if anybody can remember this group from the late 80s, early 90s, Half Man, Half Biscuit. My sister used to like them. And they did, I think it was the only song that I actually remember them doing. It was called It's Fred Titmus. So I won't swear online. And this one is the Bananarama song, Venus. The summit of beauty and love. Venus was her name, burning like a silver flame. So that's what all that is. So that's black and white markers and gold. And then this one everyone will know. This is from Alice in Wonderland with Cheshire Cat at the bottom. Dad's Army, which sort of letters cut out of newspaper, and the quotes from the Dad's Army, the original version with Arthur Lowe and Clive Dunn and Ian Lavender. This is the quote from Sonnet 18, Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? And it's the Darling Buds of May, so it's where the Darling Buds of May TV series got its name from. And in one of the early episodes, Charlie is actually quoting this sonnet to Mariette. And for anybody who's a Beatles fan, Strawberry Fields Forever. I actually traced that off my iPad with a pencil and then went over the top of it with the correct colours. So that's what that is. Anybody who likes the Blues Brothers, so this is a quote from Blues Brothers. I get out of Joliet and my brother picks me up in a police car. And this is another mixed media piece from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And my absolute favourite film when I was a little girl was The Jungle Book. So this is The Maxims of Blue, about not oppressing the cubs of the stranger because you might not know what they are. And another Shakespearean one, Exit Pursued by a Bear, The Winter's Tale, and Antigonus. And this one's based on I Never Promised You a Rose Garden, the song from the 1970s. The son has got his hat on, he's coming out to play, so that was paper and cut out letters. And then there were just some that were like this. So those were the paper bag challenge. I can't remember which artist led that, but then this is going back to something I did in a local workshop in our library, and this is called dots, and you can see there are dots where I've just dotted on the paper and then drawn flowers round it. Another variation on that, it was dots, but it turned into the messy prompt, which is another one of the prompts from the BB Bash. And there was also one called repetition, so that's a newspaper messy prompt, so this is completely different to what I did last year. And there's all sorts on here, so there's wooden shapes and beads, pieces out of magazines, tracing paper, glassine paper, stickers, and it's all done on a piece of cotton paper. These packets of cotton paper I got from the local Saucer and Gran shop. I'm not sure if that's how you say it, but that's how I say it. And then these were things called scraps. So that's the top of it, and it goes up like that, so it's got all sorts on it. And actually putting it up the right way might help. So there's a dinosaur, there's bits of paper bag. That was double-sided tape. I tried to do something with that on a piece of kitchen paper that didn't really work, so I left the backing on it. There's pieces of book, stamps, little quotes from stickers, lace, glitter paper. That was something I stamped on, but it didn't come out very effectively. This is a piece of paper weaving here, so you can see that this has got much better form than the paper weaving that I've done before. And then this was another piece that I did. Just quickly round up because I'm going to run out of time. So this again is all stickers and lace and pens, bits of paper bag. And then this is one that I did on, so the back of it is a piece of Amazon shipping carton, and the front of it is the front half of a brown paper gift bag. So this had all sorts on it, it was details, so I chose to do English details like stopping for tea, daisies in the summer, some of the customs that we have in this country, like what have I got on here? Yeah, Highland cows in England, and that, in fact, we have an apple day every year. So there's that. And then this was the last one. So this was a piece of, which is, that is separate. So that's the basis of another piece that I'm going to be doing. So that's separate. But this is the other piece of bag, again with the backing on it. And then kind of a themed colour, like monochrome black and white and silver with